So the stromatolites, you're so closely associated with them, the story of the stromatolites, and what were you thinking when you realised?
Well, I didn't realise how significant they were when I first found them. I mean, I call them algal mounds. They're built by blue-green algae, now called cyanobacteria. And I realised that they were built by these, but I didn't know how important they were, really. So I hadn't really examined ancient stromatolites at that time. But then a young geologist came up with me a year later, and he had been working around Moora, north of Perth, where there are some ancient rocks. He'd done his honours there, or was about to do his honours there. I forget which. Anyway, one of the professors who had been up there with him, Rhodes Fairbridge, commented that these were stromatolites you could see in these ancient rocks. And he was the one that really recognised the connection between those ancient stromatolites and these modern things that I found. So I credit him with being the first to he lives in Canada now, I still communicate with him regularly. So he was the one that first recognised that they were called stromatolites. That was the name. But, that's very interesting. But my work on the Devonian is the most important work. I sent David Attenborough a copy of them. He was fascinated. He'd been in this room here, David Attenborough. I introduced him to Hamlin Poole in his first documentary, Life on Earth, started at Hamlin Poole as the beginning. Nice bloke.
I've tried to contact him. I haven't got through the firewalls.
No, I can communicate with him. I sent him that bulletin. He got very nicely at the back. Very nice chap, actually. And he's worked on Aboriginal rock art and so on when he was a young man.
Did he?
Oh yeah, in the Northern Territory.
Oh.
And I showed him all my sacred boards and so on. He was fascinated.
You've got them here?
Huh?
Do you have them?
No, I donated them all to the museum. I mean, you can't sell them.
No.
And I've kept a few. I've got some down there in this shed. But I donated what would be worth about $1 million worth to the museum. I got tax deductions on them.
Oh.
I got them valued by people who are regarded as knowledgeable. But even they had difficulty putting values on them because they're not available on the open market. But no, I found the work on the Aboriginals to be particularly fascinating. And the good thing was the way I got the trust of them. They regarded me as a fully initiated man.
Wow.
Same accreditation that I could hear. And they gave me the skin classification, Jungler. So I'm related to every Aborigine in the Kimberley with a Jungler relationship. And when people would see me in by a supermarket in Fitzroy Crossing, you'd hear an Aboriginal boy, "Hey, Jungler man!"
Really? What does Jungler mean?
It's just the skin classification.
Yeah.
All the Aborigines have formal relationships between them, so that every Aborigine in the Kimberley is related in some way to every other Aborigine through this kinship system. So that Billy Munro, who was, the Aboriginal who I was closest to, he was Jungler. So he said, "You're Jungler, man." A planed off surface below the ice, the Permian ice, planed off flat, but with scratches on it, where the ice has moved over with sand and so on the base of it, and it's actually eroded. It's strange in a way you can't see it. Whereas when you've got the side illuminations, anyway, you can't see it.
Wow.
But that's a striated pavement. See, this is another one. It's just a cobble that's been... Oh, you can see them there. See the striations? Can you see the striations?
Yes,
there?
I can.
Yeah.
And what's that dated at? Is that, you were saying that's Permian?
Permian, yeah. Base of the ice.
Yep.
Yes.
My goodness.
That's Hamlin Pool.
What, this one?
That's
Yes.
Fragum irrigatum.
Yes. I know this very well.
Did you hear the story about them?
Well, you tell the story.
Oh. Well, these little shells of Fragum irrigatum live in enormous numbers out in the water of Shark Bay. And they live by photosynthesis. The organism in the shell also contains these little microbes that photosynthesize through light, and that generates the food for the shell. So it's a symbiotic relationship between this cyanobacterium and the shell. So there are billions of these shells there. They're still living there, and they still die every couple of years.
I think that's when you initially pointed out evidence of a tsunami to me at Hamlin Pool Caravan Park. The large hill there.
Oh yeah. I think that's probably a tsunami.
What's this?
Oh, that's from up in the
Perfectly smooth.
Kimberley, in the East Kimberley. Oh, that's been ground.
Right.
It's nice. It's a particular rock up there which is somewhat enigmatically has this colour stripes, and no one can actually explain it in detail. But it's called Lysagang banding.
This one.
Oh, well, that's the interesting thing about this is that this is reef limestone, but it has these vertical holes in it going down, which are filled with debris here. But you notice around the edge of each of these holes, there are the cyanobacteria growing outwards, so that when they grew, there was something in here.
Right.
It would have been a vegetable thing.
Yeah, right.
Was growing on these things. Then it rotted out, and then other sediment came in and filled in.
And what's this dated at? What's the age on
That's
this?
Devonian.
Devonian, right?
Part of the Devonian reef complex.
Remarkable.
There's part of a reef with lots of shells in it, see there?
Wow.
And
this was this within the gorge that you found this one?
No, this is down near Gigi Gorge.
Ah.
can you get around there? Can you see the striations on that?
Yeah.
See, that's
Wow.
ice again. Ice that's planed it off.
I was watching some documentary on the history of the New York area. And
Yeah.
you see this in the Central Park.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Wow.
I noticed around the Great Lakes there in Canada and the US. I mean, I look and I see all these striations. Other people just don't notice them. It's just
No.
part of the background.
It's not part of the background. It's just like it's the main game.
Yes.
What's this?
Well, it's a weathering product, but exactly how it's formed, I don't know.
Are these burrows from
They're
ancient
burrows,
creatures?
yes, they are.
I saw this in the. Geez, where was it? It was somewhere in the East McDonald Ranges.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I went with a geologist and he showed me some places.
That's
You
right,
can see
that's
this.
what they are.
Cambrian. But this is Devonian again? Is this?
No, that's
Burrow.
anyway,
Mm-hmm.
it's Mesozoic,
Oh, okay.
Paleozoic, sorry.
Okay. Paleozoic.
Well, none of these are particularly important. That's an intriguing thing there.
That's
That's from the Devonian.
Devonian?
It's a mineralisation that's gone through the limestone there. And the question is whether it's organic. It probably is.
Wow. Really?
It's in the Devonian. These silicified fossils.
Hmm.
Most of these things are no particular. Oh, this is, see, these are all ammonoids.
Wow. Yep. Where was this found?
That's about 70 kilometres east of Fitzroy Crossing. That, you know, of course.
Wow.
It's start raining, I think.
Yeah. This is, computers are great, but you can't let them get wet.
No. Wow, there's just a few things.
Wow, that's great. So interesting.
I'm a bit worried that someone might steal some. We had a burglary here a couple of weeks ago.
I did a residency back in 2006 at Bundanon, which is Arthur Boyd's homestead, the Boyd family homestead. And Arthur was doing a series of paintings up on top of this hill, and he came back, and that night he'd left the paintings out there. That night someone came along and they nicked all of his paints, but they didn't know who was painted them. They just left the paintings there.
They're a very fulfilling life. I became a geologist.
I bet. Yeah, geology is
Because I'm
remarkable.
now regarded as a historian as well as a geologist.
The only other person that I know that does that is he wrote the map that Simon Winchester.
Oh yeah,
Do you know of Simon?
I know of him.
Yeah, I wrote to him. Simon Winchester is quite a remarkable guy as well. He did some great stuff. The Map That Changed the World.
Yes, that's right.
I love that book.
Yes, it is very good. Yeah. Yes, a very eminent person.